The right care, right at home. Australia's premier in-home care provider. Local legends want it. A Bowls Green is just up the road. Search Bowls Clubs near me.
From the wide outdoors to the great indoors, this is Without Bias.
Hello and welcome to another week of Without Bias for Bowls Australia. A Bowls Green is right around the corner. Search Bowls Clubs near me. Val Febbo here with you once again, and we have a big show lined up because two right at home Jackaroos are going to join me on the program tonight, one of which is Brianna Smith ahead of her selection for the Hong Kong Classic Pairs later on this year. And another person who is going to that event in the men's competition is Jackaroo Cody Packer. Cody joins me on the line right now to have a chat. Cody, welcome.
Thanks, Val. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you? How was the birthday yesterday, I must ask? So happy birthday from everybody here on Without Bias and BA. How was it?
Oh, mate, it was pretty good. I got a nice surprise in the morning. The wife thought she was being tricky and turned up on my doorstep at 8 a.m, I think it was. That was nice, and just had a nice, quiet, chilled day.
That's awesome. That sounds fantastic, and we'll get into why that is the case because you're living away from WA at the moment. But we'll talk about the Hong Kong International Classic first. How pumped are you? And congrats on your selection.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, look, I'm pretty excited. Any chance for an international showing is pretty exciting, and everyone I've talked to that's been there before has said what a great trip it is. So yeah, really looking forward to it, and obviously honoured to be selected.
It's an illustrious event to play in. I've heard Barry Lester talk about it a few times and how much he's enjoyed it. What went through your mind when you saw you were going?
A little bit of relief, actually, to be honest. Like when we were advised that we were sending teams and that selections would be coming out, it was sort of one of those events I'd always wanted to go to. So to read my name next to Kyle's was pretty cool, and yeah, just pumped to get over there and have a go on tricky tracks and sort of immerse myself in the culture and the people.
And to have that faith from the selectors, how much does that mean?
Oh, it's always humbling and exciting to be selected for any major event. So it does mean a lot to get an opportunity. You know, we never know where the next sort of Worlds and Com Games are going to be. So to get a chance to play on different surfaces outside of Australia is always a good chance to prove yourself if we do land in an area like that. Just get some more runs on the board in foreign areas. And
what will your preparation look like? You said that they were tricky greens, and from all accounts they can be quite heavy at times. So what will your preparation look like? Yeah, well, thankfully there's a few people over this side of the country that played in Com Games in Birmingham, and obviously they had different resources to practice on those sort of conditions, which would be similar to Hong Kong. So I'll probably reach out to a couple of those and sort of ask them where or how they got to train in similar conditions. I know Carl sort of mentioned to me that he practiced in Penrith somewhere. They sort of prepared a green of some sort for him, so I might reach out to him and have a chat and hopefully get similar opportunity to practice in similar conditions to what I'll be playing in. Yeah, Carl and Ben Twist both practiced at Penrith Bowling Club, I believe. So yeah, that's definitely a good avenue to do so. They procured the green very nicely for the both of them. But you'll be going with Kyle Hansen as your teammate, as well as Brianna Smith and Jessie Cattell in the women's event. So what sort of contact will you have with Kyle, and then also with Brianna and Jessie? Yeah, well, thankfully I spent a bit of time with Kyle in the selection series for the New South Wales team, so sort of got to know him a bit better. He's a very talented player and sort of a quiet achiever, most would say about Kyle, but you can see he's got a real competitive edge to him. So hopefully we get a chance to practice a bit together in the lead up, whether we're either at Penrith or somewhere out his way, and sort of just get to know each other's games a bit better. And with the girls, Breezer's sort of flying at the moment, so is Jessie. Spent a little bit of time with them. I played with Jessie in the Matador Fours recently. And, they're winning everything, so it's pretty cool to go over with those two as well. Yeah, they certainly are, and Brianna Smith already has international tournament experience, having gone over to the World Bowls Indoor Championships in 2022, coming home with a gold in the women's singles. But your year as well, Cody, it's been quite sensational with a brilliant Australian Open, getting deep in all three disciplines. How are you assessing your form at the moment? The form's okay.
I don't think any of us are ever completely happy with how we're playing. We're always striving to be better and to perform better. But I was pretty happy with my AO. First time I've been able to make the quarterfinal of every event and then also take the pairs to a semi. Obviously a little bit disappointed I didn't convert one of those into a final, but just sort of gives me something to drive towards and something to work on for the next one. We're just settling in well here. The surfaces are different, so getting used to that and just sort of finding my feet in Sydney.
Well, yeah, that was going to be my next question. You've made the move from Western Australia to New South Wales to join Maryland's. How are you finding that change?
It is different. It's bloody cold, so getting used to that. We've had a lot of wet weather too, so that's something else that I'm not really used to playing in WA. So different conditions. The club's been amazing. Settled me in nicely. The two guys I work with in the bowls office, Gavin and Tony, they've been really accommodating for everything for me. So settling in well, besides obviously missing the family, but got a few good people around me to look after me, which is nice.
And what was the decision-making behind the call to move over east? Because obviously over west you're dominating, you won everything there is to win over there, and you're one of the figureheads of Western Australian bowls. So the decision making to move over to New South Wales, what was that?
Yeah, well, when I got selected in the Open Jackaroos squad, sort of discussed with Hales about what sort of time frame we'd give ourselves, because obviously it's a lot of travel involved to compete and then also to train at that level to put the right amount of time in. So sort of flirted with the idea of what it'd be like to be on the East Coast and be able to play a bit more. So when this job sort of was advertised by Maryland's, we sort of weighed up the pros and cons, and the biggest driver was to be able to play more, to have the flexibility to be on the green more often, playing more of those semi-major events that are run up and down the East Coast. So that was the main driver, and also I sort of always wanted to work in sport, so to have that presented to me as well, and to be able to hopefully make a difference for the members here, they were sort of the big drivers.
That's amazing. And Hayley, your wife, you two are the power couple of Western Australian bowls, but you're not living in the same state at the moment. How has that been for the two of you and your boys? Yeah.
So 2 boys and a girl. It's been tough at times, but we've got great communication, Hales and I. And technology's come a long way where you can FaceTime every night. And then making the most of opportunities like the Australian Open to sort of meet up and see some of the kids or all the kids, depending on schooling situation. So at the moment, it's going okay. We talk all the time about it, make sure everyone, both of us are in the right state of mind. And she's super supportive of everything I'm trying to do. So she's got some really good family and friends around her at home just to help out when needed. And yeah, it's working really well. You were sort of taking it, 6 months at a time, and then reassessing just to make sure we're both doing okay. But at the moment, it's working well.
It's sensational. When I spoke to the both of you at the AO, everything seemed like it was going really well, which is absolutely brilliant. But it would have been nice having Hayley surprise you on your birthday yesterday, just to see the family on your special day.
Yeah, no, it was. I thought I'd worked it out that she was coming last week, and then she managed to completely fool me into thinking there was no way she could get here, and then she appears. So she's very good at that sort of stuff. I think she's 4 from 4 now. She did it when I first played BPL, and there was another event she turned up in, the Australian Opens. She just sort of appears when I least expect it, which is quite nice.
That's awesome. Absolutely brilliant. One final one from me. You played for New South Wales in a Queensland or New South Wales v Queensland Test series last week. How bizarre was that, donning the pale blue or the baby blue, whatever they call it up there? But how bizarre was it not playing for Western Australia in a state game?
Yeah, well, obviously the heart's always been in the black and gold since I first represented when I was 18, and always had this sort of chip on my shoulder about New South Wales because of how good they are. But thankfully, when I first moved to Australia, I was in New South Wales and fell in love with the New South Wales Blues origin team. So I actually got a really big kick out of putting on the sky blue because, we all know...
Sky blue, that's the one.
The sky blue, that's it. We all know, what a talented group it is and how hard it is to get into. So to be shown the face from selectors and share the green with some of the best players in the country, let alone the world, that was pretty special.
Amazing. Well deserved. And just a quick one. The doggies, they're ticking along pretty nicely. Have you booked your finals tickets yet, Cody?
Oh, mate, ticking along nicely. They are flying. Absolutely flying. What do? They did Carlton, Geelong, and then Sydney. Yeah, I think I might save the final ticket, just book the grand final ticket on it.
Very nice. You got to have some faith. My guys are languishing down the bottom, so I've got absolutely none at the moment. But well done to the doggies, and well done to you, Cody. You're having an absolutely barnstorming year. It's been great to watch, and the way you're making things work in Maryland's is inspirational, mate. So well done to you, and looking forward to catching up very soon.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Cody Packer joining me on Without Bias. Great to have a chat with him. He's a great fella, and looking forward to seeing what he can do in Hong Kong later this season, as well as his international career with the ride-at-home Jackaroos. Brianna Smith, she's going to join me. She's going to chat about her Hong Kong expedition, as well as St John's Park joining the Bowls Premier League later on this year. Looking forward to that right after this on Without Bias.
The Right Care, Right at Home. Australia's premier in-home care provider. Local legends wanted. A Bowls Green is just up the road. Search Bowls clubs near me.
From the wide outdoors to the great indoors, this is Without Bias.
You're listening to Without Bias right here on 1116 SEN, your home of sport. Val Febbo here with you for Bowls Australia, and the Bowls Green is right around the corner. Search Bowls clubs near me if you want to get involved, or head to bowls.com.au for much more about this wonderful sport. And a lady who plays this wonderful sport quite well too, I might add, is right at home Jackaroo Brianna Smith. She joins me on the line. Bri, how you going?
I'm good, Val. How are you? Thank you for having me.
I'm fantastic. Now, you're in a much sunnier place than I am at the moment. Melbourne is foggy and cold and wet and miserable, but I hear you've just made the trek up to Tweed Heads to visit your partner, fellow Jackaroo, Ben Twist, who's playing in the Golden Nugget. How did he take the surprise?
It was nice and sunny up here. It's bloody beautiful weather. I flew up to the Gold Coast this morning from Sydney, turned up and he said, "What are you doing here?" So not the entrance that I wanted, but no, he was in game mode, so thought I'd come up and surprise him and cheer him on.
Nice. That's fantastic. Well, props to you. What an absolute superstar human you are. So I said we'd pump you up, and there you go.
Thank you for that, Val. Thank
you are very
nice
welcome.
Start to the show.
Exactly. Well, what's even nicer was your selection for the Hong Kong International Classic later on this year. How pumped are you?
Oh, super excited. I'm just, stoked to be selected again and put on the green and gold. It's always a pleasure. So super excited to bring on Hong Kong. And
the last time you travelled overseas for bowls, you came home with a gold medal. And how much confidence did that give you in 2022 when you went to the World Bowls Indoor Championships? Oh, that always gets me. It's such a tongue twister of a name of a tournament, but World Bowls Junior Indoor Championships.
It is a bit of a tongue twister, but yeah, of course it does give you some confidence putting on the green and gold again, knowing that you can go out there and perform. But the Hong Kong Classic International Singles is a completely different surface competition and conditions. So you can take some confidence out of Ireland, but then again, you've got to put yourself into a different headspace and go out there and try your best. Yeah,
certainly. And what went through your mind when you saw that you were selected for this Hong Kong event? Because obviously it's a really illustrious event. Chatted with Cody Packer, and he's really excited to go. So what went through your mind to show that you were selected for such a brilliant tournament?
Oh, super shocked, excited, all those words that come to mind. I was sitting there eating my honey on toast and the message came through and I was like, what? Me of all people? Come on. But no, super excited, and it's always an honour to be at the top of the list for selectors, and getting to go to Hong Kong with a great group of people is super exciting. And just to see old friends from the ones I met over in Ireland will be super exciting. But yeah, also like shocked, excited, all the words that you can think of.
Yeah, that honey certainly would have been tasting a lot sweeter, that's for sure.
It sure was.
And you'll be partnering with your state teammate Jesse Cattell, as well as heading over with Kyle Hansen and Cody Packer. So how much will you train and converse with Jesse beforehand, and then also chat with Cody and Kyle about sort of what they're doing ahead of the tournament? Because the conditions up there are very heavy. It's sort of like those more northern hemisphere greens that you'll see on outdoor surfaces in the UK.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Jesse and I, we've actually never played together before. I mean, obviously
really?
State teams, but never on the same rink. Never played together before. So that'll be a first for us. So we're looking forward to being on the same team, getting to know each other and spending a few weeks together, of course, and spending 10 hours on a plane to get over there together. So I'm sure we'll get to know each other quite well. But over here in Australia, it is hard to replicate the greens that are over in Hong Kong, like you mentioned. So I guess just getting on the green and just back to basics, really, just back to repetition and hope that when you get over there, you get a couple of days practice to figure out what to do and figure out how to get close, I guess. But yeah, the boys selected are two great boys as well. So it'll be nice to spend just the four of us together and get to know each other. And we've just found out that Therese Hastings is coming with us. So it'll be a nice group of five. We're very excited.
That is, if you want anyone coming with you, she'd be right up the top of the list. Therese Hastings, that's unreal. That's going to be a very, very, very famous five. You're going to have to palm people off when they ask you for selfies and all that sort of stuff, Brianna. So just make sure you've got the hands at the ready.
Yes, exactly right. We'll just take each opportunity and go for gold, hopefully.
Exactly. Well, you're having the faith of the selectors as well. That's something that's always really nice to hear, I guess, when you are selected. So how much does that mean to you to have that faith and, the fact that they've chosen you to go over and represent the country in such a big event like this?
Yeah, well, it's always, like you said, always nice to be the one selected and be at the top of the list for such a prestigious event, but to just put on the green and gold again, and it's just a super special moment, and you just really want to go out there, give it your best, and hope that you do the selectors and the country proud, and really go out there and show the rest of the countries that are selected what you've got.
And now, Bree, you bowl out of St John's Park. How is the vibe around the place since that BPL team was announced, the Sydney Saints?
Oh, the club is so excited. Just all the members are just so keen to even just get up there. Anthony, our group sports administrator, probably you spoke to him several times and heard his name several times. He's put so much work in behind the scenes, and just to see our club up in lights, it's pretty awesome. There's been a handful of members that have always come up to us at the office there, and they're so excited. Like, we're going to be up there. We're going to be cheering them on. So I'm sure there's going to be no shortage of Sydney Saints supporters, and it's going to be loud, and we're going to give it our best shot. But yeah, the club is super excited and can't wait to get up there in November. Now, the members are going to be there, but Bree, Hong Kong is at the same time. Can you believe that? It's not ideal, but you got to take the selection and go put on the green and gold and do my job first. But obviously I'll be trying to find a way over in Hong Kong to get it on my screen somewhere and cheer on from overseas, I guess. So not ideal timing, but then again, I've got to take the selection and give it my best, but I'll be cheering them on, that's for sure. For sure. At least the time zone will have you in pretty good stead. I reckon it'll start pretty early in the afternoon there. So they're a couple of hours behind, so you will very well enjoy it, that's for sure. But how do you think the squad will go? Dawn Heyman, Ben Twist, they're the local hopes, and then Jamie Walker as well is a really, really big inclusion for that team. Yeah, well, they've all got outstanding resumes, and they've all done their bit to be selected in our Sydney Saints squad. So they're all pretty worthy bowlers and can do their job. And, well, Ben and Dawn, they've played together several times, come from the Sydney Lions together. So they won't be out of their comfort zone, that's for sure. But I'm sure they'll give it a good run and give every other franchise a good run for their money too. For sure. And now the next few months for you, what are they going to look like in terms of the preparation for Hong Kong? What are you going to be doing? And then also you've got nationals thrown in there as well. So what's on the agenda for you? Well, next week we've got our New South Wales versus Victoria Test Series, which is at my home club, St John's Park, so that's exciting. And then I've got the Australian Indoor Championships up here in Club Tweed. And then obviously in amongst all of that, trying to prep for Hong Kong, which is try and find a green somewhere that is a little bit slower, but coming into the warmer weather, it's not going to be easy. But then, just keep getting on the green and getting those results in. And then before we know it, nationals, and then head to Hong Kong. So, and then in amongst all that as well, club championships and what have you. But just doing my best to get in the right headspace for Hong Kong and do my best to be mentally and physically ready. Bowls never stops, does it? It doesn't stop, no. We live and breathe it, Val. We live and breathe it. We certainly do. Well, Bree, thanks so much for joining me on the show this evening, and it's an absolute pleasure to have you on and talk about your international exploits. I know how long you've been working towards being a Jackaroo, and to see you flourishing with that title is quite amazing. So well done to you, and congrats on your selection for the Hong Kong International Classic later this year. Thank you very much, Val, and thank you for having me.
Brianna Smith joining me on Without Bias. An absolute pleasure to have her on the show. She's a breath of fresh air and she's got such an enthusiasm for the sport of bowls. So well done to her for her selection on for Hong Kong later this year. Looking forward to that in November during the BPL. So we've got a very, very big week in the second week of November with the BPL 20 or with BPL 20 coming along. 12 teams. It's going to be so exciting. You can head to bowls.com.au for more about the two new teams, the Geelong Jets and the Sydney Saints, as well as the two new outfits that will be representing them. So Geelong and Sydney have been announced, and we'll bring you the other teams in due course when all of them are released. So looking forward to that. Of course, you can stay up to date with Bowls on Bowls Australia's Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, and LinkedIn platforms, as well as the Right Line, Bowls Australia's official podcast. You can subscribe on Apple, Google, and Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts from. But also, the YouTube channel is where you can catch up on all of the episodes of Without Bias so far. So head to Bowls Australia's YouTube. Once again, subscribe because you'll get access to a couple of little specials that are coming up, or one in particular from a 20-year anniversary of the 2004 World Championships in air. And we're very much looking forward to showing you what that is going to be. But until then, stay safe. Have a great week. Happy bowling from myself, Val Febbo. Catch you next week.